Hello, I'm Lily, welcome to CooksBooks and welcome to the first seasonal reset of the year. I would have a quick look at my reading over January, February, winter months and kind of just see how I did. So I actually beat my reading goal by 1,600%. How, you ask? By setting it to 1 and reading 16 books in 2 months. And I think I need to give myself credit. That is quite good. But in February, I only read 4. It's had a really good month in January, and then February slowed right down, but I think that was because I was reading kind of really short books in January as part of that vlog, and when I started to read thicker books, like novels, I read them more slowly because they were bigger. But let's break this down a little bit more. 12 books in January, 4 books in February. Overall, 12 of those books were physical books, which were on my TBR already, and 4 were audiobooks that I got from Audible or the library of books from my TBR. So let's do some TBR maths. I started the year with 159 books on my TBR. I then took off 16 books that I read, but then I bought 20 books in 2 months, which takes me back up to 163 books. So yes, technically we're in a worse position than when we started, but I was going to buy all these books no matter what. Some of them were pre-orders, a lot of them were the charcoal press subscriptions that I treat myself to at the start of the year, so I was kind of expecting this to be a heavier book month anyway. But yeah, we're not quite making any progress in that whole get your TBR down thing. So we know I read a lot of translated fiction, so I thought it would be interesting to break this down a little bit more by country. So of the 16 books I read, 8 were from the UK, 3 were from the US, 1 was from France, 1 was from Argentina, 1 was from Chile and 1 was from Japan. And in terms of languages and kind of ethnicity breakdowns, that's 3 in Spanish, 11 in English, 1 in French, 1 in Japanese, and of those English books, 1 was a Turkish-British author, 1 was a British-Bangladeshi author, and 1 was co-written by 2 British-Chinese and a British-American woman. So a reasonably international first couple of months. According to Storygraph, my main reading moods were reflective and emotional. These colours are so ugly, Storygraph. Please do something nicer than this. And I was also quite happy to see that my reading pace was medium. Again, I was worried with all those short books it would kind of be fast, and that's not really what I want to do this year. But actually I think they were so well researched and so well written that they weren't super fast reads. You did have to really pay attention and kind of crawl your way through them in a nice way. But yeah, there it is. Less than 300 pages is taken up. I can't do that kind of maths. Not quite 3/4 my yearly page count. I think I've got a lot of work to do this year to rectify that. But I have been reading some chunky books, so I'm hoping it balances quickly. What I do love to see, and I don't think we'll ever see again, is a 50-50 split between fiction and non-fiction. Like, I love non-fiction, I just don't pick it up very often unless I'm purposefully going out of my way to. So we'll see how long this trend continues for. Really interestingly, classics and fantasy are fighting it out. Oh, I haven't said that, it's only like 4 books each. They're duking it out, guys. That horror at the bottom is confusing me. Oh, Slewfoot. Yeah, that was really scary. I will not be doing that to myself again. So I read 3,807 pages. Here's how that spread out over the past 2 months. Not a lot to say other than, woof, February dropped off a little bit. The highest rating I gave was 5 stars, the lowest I gave was 3 stars, so that's a really strong start to the year. For me, 3 stars is it's a good book. it's readable. I think if I was giving it 1 or 2 stars, it would be very unlikely I would finish it. So the 3 books I gave 5 stars to were Dark Days by James Baldwin, Bonsai by Alexandra Zamba, and You. I don't know if it's the new all-time favourite, but or like the all-time favourite. But definitely up there, Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Can you believe this hardback has sat on my shelf since it came out? Just sitting there being perfect. Being one of my favourite books of all time. This is why I'm really excited to really focus on my TBR this year, because at some point, every book in this room I thought I was going to be obsessed with and was going to be a new favourite, and I just didn't read it. That was a really lovely experience to read such a big book and for it just to absolutely slap. So Priory of the Orange Tree was my highest high, the one that out of those 3 5 stars I would probably give a 5.1 if I could. And then if we go back down to the 3s, I think the lowest of my 3s would be We're Falling Through Space, which is a book about Doctor Who. I went into it more in that first vlog of the year. Nothing I hadn't already read on Twitter. So those are all of the stats that I've put together and Storygraph has put together. So let me just show you quickly. These are the books I read separated by month. And here they are separated by rating at 5 stars, 4.5 stars, 4 stars, 3.5 stars, 3 stars. And literally the only other piece of news I have for you is that now translated fiction takes up 2 whole shelves on my bookshelf, but it is beautiful. Let's turn you around for a look. There they are. You might say, Lauren, why Scooby and Shaggy? Because really, does anyone in the world represent what it means to be truly international? Like these 2 men.